Hi everyone, this is Paglia and I'm here with another online commentary. I really enjoy this commentary stuff because a lot of things to cover, but at the same time looking back to the video, you see so many things you miss, so many things you need to just mention. But yeah, after all I enjoy it and I hope you guys will find this one entertaining too. Anyways, this is the replay battle commentary on one of the battles that we did like a couple of weeks ago on Game Ranger. 31k rule set, 3 versus 3, and we have Dio from Greek clan playing as Carthage. He got 20 sacred bands. EsraX playing Roman Scipii with 4 auxiliary archers, 4 Praetorian Cav and 12 urban cohort, and I'm playing as Scipii and I have standard build 14-6, and on the other team we have Constantine from RV clan. He has Roman SPQR faction and he has standard build like me, 14 urban cohort and 6 Praetorian Cav. The next teammate is I think this is Sparky, because we have had a couple of guys that can't have the name on the Game Ranger, and the way he deploys, I mean, it should be Sparky, but yeah, if I make a mistake, just please correct it. And Macedon got 6 companions, 2 Cretan archers on it here, and it makes 12 royal pikemen. And from the formation you can see he's ready to face Carthage. And the next teammate is Mohamed from Titans clan. Mohamed got Roman SPQR faction and he has also standard build with 6 Praetorian and 14 urban cohorts. From the first look at the battlefield, we can see our team got huge cavalry disadvantage. So we have 10 cavalry against 18 cavalry, which means they have additional 8 cavalry. They can position wherever you want, they can dominate the battlefield. But also we have some archer advantage, and also of course the infantry advantage, like you got 20 sacred bands. So as you can see what he did, he spread out his infantry into 3 parts. He has 5 infantry that he sent to both me and EsraX, so he knows that one of us might get at some point of the battlefield rushed by all this cavalry, even if not all of them, but still they have enough more cavalry to dominate one of us. So he sees that, he sends these 5 pikes, I mean sacred band units to each of us to at least avoid our opponents from doing that. Anyways, what we do now, we're kind of having these mainly I'm having the flanking moves, and as you can see, both Macedon and Carthage players, they position their armies back. The reason why, it's perhaps it's because of the other teams' positionings. As Dio split up his army into 3 parts, as we can see, Macedonian player did the same thing, because he knows that if Dio advances, then whether me or EsraX can just make charges on one of the Roman players, and while we might not get the desired counter charge. So in order to avoid it, he also split up his army into 3 parts. So in case these sacred bands advances, so perhaps he'll be doing the same thing to face these sacred bands. Also avoid the advantage that our team will be provided by this advancement of the sacred bands. That's just for that reason his army was positioned somewhere back. Also it's not good for the Carthage to face any of the Roman players, so he has no other option just to position somewhere back, because we all know that sacred bands get huge pillar damage like no other pike unit. Anyways, we had some glitching units from the other team. Mainly Constantine was glitching and we pulled our armies back, but at the same time I've seen these companion cav just because of a glitch just bumped into my units and got routed. It just gets some damage, no, some considerable damage, but yeah, right now things seems to be okay. Anyways, initially I was advancing and doing some flanking moves, but perhaps later on I realized the disadvantage in terms of the cavalry we have and how it might end up me being aggressive, so I just pulled back and we decided to play a lot more defensive and see how our opponents will react and how they will just make the moves, so we might be counter-reacting to them, because it's really difficult to play in the cav disadvantage. You should be very careful. You can't really just make some stupid moves, like you can't go too much aggressive, and when the opponents push, it is still risky that you might lose your units just because of some moves that you make, which you didn't want to make. And that's the reason why we see this from the how EsraX formations, how he built up his formation. Like, he doesn't have pillar shield or whatever, but perhaps he'll just try to avoid the aggressive infantry fight with Mohammed's units. And I also don't plan to go into direct engagement with Constantine, but rather wait them to be the first ones to make the step, and we will be responding to it. Right now things seems to be static, so I'll just be double speeding it and let's see how the things will go on. But it seems that yeah, from the how their cavalry is positioned and how they make their infantry moves, it seems that things are going to happen firstly on this flank by the leading of Mohammed, because after all, one of the flanks, so they can't go long-term infantry fight, but rather they should be aggressive and find a way to use their cav and to get rid of one of our flank very quickly, so that later on they can have less problem to win the game. So as you can see, Mohammed is throwing some pillar, but perhaps he'll be just stopping it. But also EsraX got, yeah, he got 2 of his units pillared, but yeah, still avoids some pillar exchange, because our main hope here is our cavalry, our infantry, so we should get best out of it. So we can't really go just what our opponents want and just go direct aggressive infantry fight. No, this won't work this way for us. So seeing 2 isolated cavalry units, I think I wanted to engage them with all my cavalry, but he's been quick to respawn. Also Macedon was quick to send his cavalry, so seeing this I pulled my cavalry back. Here comes the charge from Constantine, this to the side of my engaged units. He managed to rout one of my unit. I make this charge straight into this engaged, this isolated two of urbans that's Constantine had, but well, as it was some straightforward charge, it didn't work, and I avoided using this cavalry units too. And well, yeah, we have one less cavalry now. Also, EsraX lost one of his cavalry earlier, and things are getting much tougher for us. And as you can see, seeing this engagement, Dio moved up his spikes, gaining mid time to pillar and eventually engage these guys, and maybe just use my cavalry in with better opportunities and get rid of these infantry that the Constantine has. But still, the flank that I'm positioned, the things are very passive compared to what is happening here between EsraX and Mohamed. Seeing things a little bit secure on this flank, I move my cavalry towards Mohamed, and as EsraX kind of already engaged with some of his Mohamed's infantry, and also with the support of GREEK-DIOMIDIS, we decided maybe we might be charging, like rushing Mohamed, because he's also, look how far he is from his allies, mainly the Constantine. Well, this is the only drawback that the flanking moves have. Well, flanking moves gives some advantage over your opponent, but at the same time there is a risk of it. Like while there is so big gap between you and your allies, your opponents are very close to each other and they can decide to quickly rush your army. But yes, still we don't have so much cavalry that we would freely charge Mohamed, and look how we are dominated in terms of cav, like over the battlefield. The Macedon positions his cavalry, 6 cavalry behind us, and we have other 12 Praetorians facing our troops. Well, yeah, I mean, all we can do is just wait them to charge in and to get best out of it. Nothing much to do. EsraX advances with 3 of his infantry, but later he pulls them back. Seeing this, Mohamed goes for a charge. There is always higher risk when your moving units gets charged by 6 Praetorians, because they're very vulnerable and they might get routed very easy. A good move by the Macedonian player. What they did basically was Mohamed goes for initial charge, and they might have waited us to go into counter charge on him, and another charge by the companions would just damage all our troops there. But what EsraX did good, he didn't really go for a counter charge, but rather engage these charging companions. And what I think, companions were aiming these infantry units that the EsraX had, and the way where they got caught and where the aimed infantry units were, there was some distance and the charge function didn't get activated. So that's why I think they got so easily damaged, because they were not fighting but running through those cavalry, which I believe was the cause, which resulted these companions get lost. But look what is happening here. As Esra got into a counter charge on Mohamed, the companions were waiting for this opportunity. As soon as these Praetorians of EsraX got engaged, the Praetorians of Mohamed, he just got another charge, and that's our right flank has fallen. Seeing this, we decided to be aggressive with GREEK-DIOMIDIS, because we can't really wait and just make us a sandwich right here. And Constantine is doing a good job. He doesn't go for an aggressive moves here. He just waits his allies to come in. But I have no other option but to go aggressive on Constantine. With the support of Dio and with my infantry push, we eventually rout almost more than a half of Constantine's infantry, but he has still some 6 healthy cavalry. But my cavalry is kind of battle damaged. Also, I think at some stage I charged some pikes. I'm not sure if I managed to caught it on the tape, but so it resulted I losing some of my cavalry units, and also later on while I was charging 2 isolated units I got caught by the companions. So I don't really want to go direct engagement, rather wait these 2 units to engage this cavalry and maybe then I might have a chance. But the good thing about it right now is we kind of got out of the position that was desirable for our opponents. And you might think that there is a threat for these sacred bands here, but the main threat for the sacred band is the pillar. But I think these guys got already used their pillars against the EsraX, so not much of a threat, I mean, at least. So Constantine goes for my 2 cavalry here. I accept the fight and I used other 3 cavalry of mine. Well, I had really nice position to countercharge his cavalry, and with the support of 2 of my other infantry units and also other cavalry units, we kind of pull the game back, let's call it this way. But seeing these, because still even though they don't have pillar, Urban's got huge advantage against sacred bands. Mohamed knows this. He just pushes aggressively with his infantry and he goes for a charge, hoping that this charge might makes these units mass routed. But I guess he was welcomed also by these sacred bands. But yeah, this charge should be nice. He routed 2 of my units and 2 of sacred bands, but yeah, it costed him some cavalry damage also. Then as seen these engaged urbans that Mohamed has, and I moved my infantry behind his units. And the good thing for me, I was lucky that his charge didn't work, so otherwise I wouldn't be very comfortable to move my cavalry into this position and to make this charge. And here it comes.
The enemy general is slain, and now his men fear us. It is time to press the attack.
Yeah, Mohamed come for a counter charge. It can be bad for me, but also this charge of mine routed some of his infantry luckily, and yeah, the cavalry counter charge didn't work that much through. At this stage, really good job for the Dio, and mainly how he defended against the urbans and how he held it back Mohamed's cavalry charge. That's what gained us the game, I would say. And yeah, these royals can't really stand against all this infantry. Anyways, that's all for tonight. I hope you guys found this video interesting. Good game for all the players that's been playing this game. I mean, all these guys, I mean, most of them are really good players. It doesn't matter whether we lose or we win the battles. Nobody needs to get proved by any of the videos, but I prefer sharing the videos just for the entertainment, and mostly I enjoy doing these videos. Anyways guys, I finished the recording here. I hope you enjoyed the game, and bye.